479-999-1234 is their number. If pain is slowing you down, if joint pain was the first thing you felt this morning, call my friends at QC Kinetics. They can show you a better way without surgery, without drugs, and without downtime, getting you back to the things you love. That's QC Kinetics. They bring you Football Friday. Yesterday afternoon, the Southeastern Conference presidents and chancellors approved a 9-game SEC schedule requiring each school to play 9 SEC games beginning in 2026, plus one additional, what we have been calling power conference game, but it's a game you'll have to schedule against, like Notre Dame. They're on that list, and, of course, ACC, Big 12, Big 10 schools will fill that list. So you'll have 10 quality games, and there's a lot of things that we'll get into. I want to bring Clay Henry into the conversation. Clay, I don't think we ever doubted this day was coming. I don't know that we thought it would be as quick as 2026, but Arkansas and the rest of the league will have an unbalanced 9-game schedule beginning next fall.
Tommy, have you ever sat with your wife and discuss finances and say, this may not be what we want to do, but this is what we're going to do? And tough conversation. And that's what the chancellors and presidents told to the athletic directors and the coaches. I don't think there was a true consensus. In other words, the coaches and the athletic directors, they weren't going to vote to do this, but the chancellors and the presidents is like, we need the money.
Yeah.
And it makes business sense.
And just reading through the comments, listening to Greg Sankey talk about this yesterday on Paul Feinbaum's show, I think this came with a pretty good recommendation from the ADs. Now, maybe it's smart business to get in line with your boss if the presidents and chancellors want this as well.
Exactly.
But, and publicly you're going to get in line with that. I don't think any of the coaches probably were clamoring for an extra conference game, but at the end of the day, we all know rev sharing is here. $17.5 million plus the scholarships runs it up to nearly $21 million that the universities are trying to fill that gap. This is just one way they're going to bridge that gap with revenue.
Yeah, and I think fans like it. Fans, that's every other year. That's another SEC team playing in your stadium that is good. You say the athletic directors and the coaches, they have to like it. I mean, they don't have a choice. I mean, they're making so much money. What are they going to say? It's time to do it. And I've thought for a long time, maybe the first time it was mentioned, well, do it. And I think that there's some people that are that worry that it's that's another loss on the schedule because there's no easy way to look at it. You're going to bring another SEC team on the schedule, and that's not like playing McNeese State. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun, and I think that it's go ahead and get it done for next year, and I think that's the plan.
Let's get into some more of the details. It's all part of our opening drive.
A lot of factors involved. I've talked about, bowl eligibility, the CFP, and some of the work by the CFP so far this year is progress. It's not the destination, but the honoring of schedule strength that's been communicated is really important for the Southeastern Conference. Being leaders in college football, continuing to play games against non-conference opponents at a high level in addition to the 9 games. I think that's a representation of fulfilling that leadership responsibility. That's not something that's done every place. Not everyone agrees. I'm certain that our coaches are concerned about the competitive aspect. We've got to continue to improve the selection process.
This is the opening drive.
And really, the College Football Playoff Committee, at least on the surface, is driving some of this. That was Greg Sankey yesterday on Paul Feinbaum. Clay, the SEC's been left out of the national title for the last couple of years. They want to get back on the top of the mountain in college football. Strength of schedule does matter. The committee is putting an emphasis on that. I know the money is a driving factor, but let's also not kid ourselves. The SEC wants to make sure it's not systematically at a disadvantage by only playing 8 SEC games.
Correct. And but the finances to me are the critical aspect. And the Big Ten has been doing this, and their reason for doing it didn't have anything to do with the competitive advantage or the playoffs or whatever. They dropped off a rent-or-win game by playing a conference game, and that they don't have to pay $1 million guarantee. So there's a game that Arkansas won't have to play next year that was going to cost them $1 million. Plus, an SEC team, when they come to Fayetteville, is going to fill up a larger section of the stadium. So it is about finances, and we don't. When they say it's not about the money, it's about the money.
It's always about the money. Yeah, in the end. All right, so 5 games at home, then 4 on the road. You'll flip-flop that the next year. Let's just look at it from our perspective. Is this good news or bad news for the Razorbacks?
Yeah, I think it's a little of both. I think it's good news as far as the finances. It's bad news because you're going to play one more hard game that you didn't have to play. But it's I think that in the end you have to look at what's best for the conference, and this is what's best for the conference. So that's good news. But yeah, make no mistake, Tommy, you tell me what's going to happen. You think Arkansas is one of the 8 teams that gets an extra home game, or you think they're one of the 8 teams that gets an extra road game next year?
Now, was that rhetorical or sarcastic, that question? I'm trying to figure out.
That is sarcastic.
I think I would bet a lot of money that Arkansas is going to be one of the 8 teams playing 5 road games in year 1.
Tommy, I don't make that ding, 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 ding sound very good, but you win.
Yeah. And I'm going to guess that our road game won't be at Vanderbilt or Kentucky. You might have one at Mississippi State. But I'm going to guess the game you pick up will be at Alabama or Georgia. Yes.
Yeah, one of those two. Yeah.
A trip to the swamp as they regain their footing. Let's talk about those teams, because Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, they have built-in in-state rivals against power conference teams. So Georgia and Georgia Tech, that's going to suffice the requirement. Florida's still the team that's from a scheduling requirement, and I'll be interested to see if their state politics change now that this is going to be a requirement. Their schedule could contain as many as 11 power conference games with their rivalry with Florida State and Miami.
Sure looks that way, and that's their own decision. I mean, it would be hard to get out of either one of those games at this point. But you couldn't blame them if they did.
No, I mean, I don't want to say I feel sorry for them. I won't go that far, but that would make quite a challenge for Billy Napier or whoever's going to be next, perhaps at Florida. South Carolina already has Clemson. Kentucky has Louisville. So you start looking around, and now I think about Arkansas and their schedule. You've got Notre Dame this year, but you've also, I believe it's 2028, you make a return trip there. Utah is next year. That one will stay on the schedule. You've got them in a return trip down the road. Oklahoma State still comes here. I'll be interested to see which games drop off, because my guess is it's not going to be the FCS teams necessarily. It's going to be the teams that are in the Sun Belt, and maybe the upper crust of the next level are the teams you're not going to play. Teams like Memphis this year, A-State down the road in a return match. These are the games that I think when Arkansas looks at it, not going to be interested in scheduling very many of those because you're going to need teams like Alabama A&M, SWAC teams, probably to give you some relief in a schedule.
I think you're right, but let's be honest, I don't think they were going to play Arkansas State again anyway. There was no return match. This is a one-off. And, anybody that thinks that that's going to be a regular part of the schedule, I think they're misguided.
Correct. But I think teams like Memphis, you probably won't see on the schedule, very many more times moving forward.
Yeah, you were going to get 2 games back for this trip to Memphis. Whether they actually play those 2 games in Fayetteville, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
maybe they spread it out down the road a little bit. But yeah, there's give and take to everything.
Yeah.
But I know that the schedule is going to be interesting in that you will have 5 home games every other year, 5 home SEC games, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question that that's going to be a more valuable home ticket that year.
And now with Dallas going away and playing in Jerry's World and not playing in War Memorial, you're guaranteed at least 4 every year in Fayetteville, which is good for the local economy and also good for the football program as well, where you're not traveling for home games.
Good for recruiting too.
Yeah.
Those are advantageous for bringing in top recruits when you have 5 SEC home games. No question.
Yeah.
And I think the Notre Dame game is good for recruiting.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. I understand the what would you call the grave nature of adding these type games. It's Arkansas is trying to dig its way out of we're still trying to dig our way out from the Chad Morris debacle, and this makes it harder, but it also, where there is challenge, there's opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Clay, stand by. We're going to call you back here in just a little while, and we'll get more thoughts from you as we're moving forward. Also, heading into
Thanks, Tom.
Heading into the final weekend. Thanks, Clay. Clay Henry, the Hall of Famer, will rejoin us towards the bottom of the hour. We got to get to our Fence-Man Friday picks. But news of the day, if you haven't heard already, Southeastern Conference presidents and chancellors approved a 9-game SEC schedule beginning in 2026. That news announced yesterday. All right, Fence-Man Friday picks coming up. That's our opening drive. It's brought to you by Farm Credit. They have 25 locations around our state to take care of you. Find one online at myaglender.com. If you're looking to spruce up your existing home or maybe refinance the home you're in now, Farm Credit of Western Arkansas can help you with that. Sit down with any of their professionals on their team and get started. That's Farm Credit of Western Arkansas, myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Time for our Fence-Man Friday picks. We're ready to really get into like some real games that really count.
There's honest to God college football on
There's real
this
games this weekend as we welcome Sean in from the Fence Man. Sean, I know it's not the entrees we're going to have next week when the Hogs play in a huge weekend of college football to start, but hey, at least we got something to look forward to this weekend on the tube.
I'm super excited. I know it's still summer and it's still hot, but man, football it's a signal of a great fall.
Yeah, even the weather's supposed to be better by next week. All right, let's get to it. It's our Fence Man Friday picks.
Fence-Man Friday picks. Call the Fence-Man for all kinds of fences, controlled access, and custom iron projects. 479-782-3936. The Fence-Man. We ain't afraid of no work.
All right, Colton, what you got on tap? I imagine that Kansas State-Iowa State game is going to be
sir.
somewhere in the mix from Ireland.
Yes, sir. Number
Maybe
17.
we need some dark beer, Sean. We'll drink some dark beer, get a Stein out, and watch this game.
17 Kansas
Let's do
State
it, man. Let's have a great time.
versus number 22 Iowa State. They're playing this game in Dublin, Ireland. Why anybody else but Notre Dame or Boise State's playing in Ireland, don't ask me. It's the Farmageddon, as they would call it now, this Irish version. We got Kansas State favored by 3, 11 a.m. on ESPN this Saturday. Tommy, who do you like?
I like the home team.
Like the home team? Good choice, good choice, good choice. If you had to pick the purple or the red one.
I'm gonna flip a coin here. I'm gonna go Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Iowa State and the points.
Sean, who do you like, the Cyclones or the Wildcats?
Give me the Wildcats.
Wildcats. All right, I'm going to make the deciding factor right here. I'm going to take the Wildcats as well. Really like Avery Johnson and what they got going on there at Kansas State. All right, Stanford, new regime there. General Andrew Luck, in charge of he's the general manager now for the Stanford football program. They're traveling to Hawaii. Long distance travel. They're taking on the Rainbow Warriors at 6:30 on CBS and Paramount Plus. The Warriors are favored by 2.5 points. Tommy, who you like, Hawaii or Stanford?
I'll take the Flying Hawaiians there. I'll take
Hawaiians?
Hawaii, the home team, and give the 2.5.
Sean, who you like, Stanford or Hawaii?
Stanford.
Stanford. I'm going to take Stanford as well. I know that travel is always usually what gives Hawaii the favor, but Hawaii's not a good football program, and Stanford's not really much either, but I think Stanford's a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Stanford, any time in the past, would have been the automatic pick, but not so much in today's world.
A little bit different this year. Fresno State at Kansas. Kansas opens up as a 13-point favorite. Jalen Daniels has been rumored to be a potential Heisman dark horse as the Jayhawks look to knock off the Bulldogs at home. 5:30 on Fox this weekend. Tommy, Fresno State or Kansas?
What a weekend for Kansas. This is just the state of Kansas.
Yeah.
Kansas State playing overseas in Ireland. Kansas at home. Rock, chalk, Jayhawk, baby. Give me Kansas over Fresno State.
Sean, you like Fresno State or Kansas in this one?
No, give me Kansas.
I'm going to choose Kansas as well. Fresno State. It's a pretty solid Mountain West school, but I think Kansas just has they had a new stadium with new designs up there. A good quarterback, should be a pretty easy win for Kansas. Last on the list here, NFL preseason. As these teams ramp up action here, you're going to see a lot more of the starters on these squads. We got the Falcons taking on
How about
the Cowboys.
Micah Parsons? We're going to see Micah Parsons in this game.
I don't know. His agent had some choice words to say to Jerry Jones, so probably not. But they take on Falcons and the Cowboys Friday at 7 o'clock on NFL Network. Joe Milton looks really good as the Dallas backup. So, Tommy, who do you like? The Stars on the helmet or the Falcons?
Give me the fighting Jerry Jones. I'll take, how about them Cowboys? Give me them Cowboys.
Sean, Falcons at Cowboys. Who do you like?
Give me them Cowboys.
All right, I'm picking against the Cowboys, as I will every
Tom
time
Murphy
I turn
will
this
love you.
microphone
Yeah.
on. The Falcons are probably really bad, and I don't care. I'm not picking the Cowboys. Give me the Falcons in that one.
All right, so those are our Fitz Man Friday picks. Actual, real, by golly football this
Pigskin,
weekend.
baby.
And we'll have a full slate of games. It'll be hard to pick which games we're actually going to pick come next week, but one of them, Arkansas and Alabama A&M, I'm sure. We'll
That'll
have
be
to come
on
up
there.
with a creative line for that. I know this, you need a straight line that comes to that fence, right down the line, and that's what Sean can do. I saw one of your aluminum fences the other day. Y'all can do some neat stuff with that, some neat colors, and you never have to worry about rot or or the bend in it. I really like this new aluminum product you got.
Yeah, it's come out. The neat thing with the vendors we have, they come out with multiple colors. You can get it green, you can get it brown, you can get it white. The best thing about it is, a lot of people now are going with saltwater pools. And, when you get saltwater pool, the best thing to do is put aluminum fence around it. That way you don't have to worry about that salt water rushing anything out, and it'll last, the lifetime of your pool. So it's pretty neat. And they do have multiple styles, just whatever can fit your backyard to enhance the beauty and protect. Everybody needs to protect that pool. You don't want anybody, accidentally falling in. So we'd love to have an opportunity to come out and do some aluminum fencing and pick a color to match your landscaping.
What about the privacy and the security of one of those? Can I still get the controlled gates? Can we still get it to where I got a private area? How customizable is one of these aluminum fences?
It is just as customizable as any other type of fencing that we do, whether it's ornamental iron or or welded up iron or a privacy fence or something like that. It's all of our vendors we have. They have the ability to attach the same. They all have different brackets. So if you need a bracket for aluminum, we got it. Need it for steel, you got it. Want it for wood, we got it. There's not much we can't do, and if I love to problem solve, and so if there's a challenge on the fence, something you want, man, let's figure out a solution for you, because that's what makes this business the fun part.
782-3936 is the number. Call Sean. They can talk to you about aluminum fencing, custom wood, privacy fencing, ornamental iron, security fencing, and more. 782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Sean, enjoy the weekend. We'll see you next Friday.
Guys, thank you very much for the time, and y'all have a fabulous weekend yourself.
TheFenceManAR.com is their website. You can see their work as well. I'm excited. We got football tomorrow. I'm already planning out next Saturday. Going to get an early tee time, get done before 11.
What's on the smoker, Tommy? What are you putting on there?
Ooh, good question. Probably, if I'm going, I'll probably come home Friday night and put maybe a pork butt on.
Ooh.
and then let it go all day and have it done about time for the Arkansas game.
I know where I'll be Saturday.
Yeah, so it's time to start planning all that. You need to plan what you got on your phone, and that's the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell. Whether it's Taco Bell's $5, $7, or $9 Lux Cravings boxes, you can fill up on all your favorites for $5, indulge on even more for $7, or try something totally new for just $9. It's the Lux Cravings boxes, available now at Taco Bell. News of the day. 9 SEC games beginning in 2026. We'll also talk about 2025. All of that coming up. Clay Henry will rejoin us, and we got your Hog Update on the way next. It's the Morning Rush on ESPN Arkansas and the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell.
You're in the middle of Football Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Quit telling me it's the most Arkansas thing ever. No, it's not. Because the most Arkansas... No, you're wrong.
This is the Morning Rush.
Let's welcome in the head coach of the Razorbacks, Sam Pittman.
Catch Sam Pittman live every Wednesday night at 7, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hardee's invites you to fill your days with a little more handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch biscuits, baked fresh every 15 minutes. Crispy chicken tenders made with hand-breaded care. 100% Angus beef patties, freshly charbroiled, built to order. And warm smiles every day, from sunrise to supper time. Because at Hardee's, there's always goodness in the making. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
My name is Georgios Tsetis. I'm the co-founder of Nutrafol. My hair started thinning in my early 20s. I tried everything and nothing was really working. So we created Nutrafol. Our hair growth supplements undergo clinical trials and have helped millions of men and women get visibly thicker and stronger hair in just 3 to 6 months.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply. The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
Uncle Tommy loves the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
7 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
Everybody, Woo Big Suey. This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
I know I said that I don't think I've been on as close a team as I'm on right now. I don't think I've been on a team as deep as we are right now. You know, we got 2 whole lines that can start in the SEC, and that's really unheard of. So Doom stepped up at right guard, and he's been doing great. We haven't really skipped a beat. We've still been doing what we were doing when we had Black, and, you know, I'm really excited that we have that much depth, because if someone goes down, next guy's up, and we're rolling.
Get you some of that. Get you some of that. Hey, we got 2 SEC lines. That's Caden Kittler, Arkansas's presumed starting center. Yesterday after practice, he was one of a handful of Razorbacks that spoke with the media yesterday. I liked what he had to say there. I don't know if I totally buy it, totally believe it, but I like where he's coming from. And I'm ready to see what he's saying, you know, come to life, be the actual fact of the matter. So Arkansas, we're 8 days out if you count today. I would say we're like 7.5 right now. We're like 7.5 days from Arkansas football beginning. We'll have more from the players from yesterday coming up throughout the show. 4 Razorbacks were named to the Senior Bowl Top 300 list. Quarterback Taylon Green, offensive lineman Fernando Carmona, and defensive lineman David Oki, who's out early in the year with an injury, and Cam Ball all earned spots on the Senior Bowl Top 300 list. We'll keep an eye on that as we move through. Your Hog Update, brought to you by Mr. Sparky, also includes an update on soccer. The 13th-ranked Razorbacks hit the road for the first time this season on Sunday. They'll play at Georgia Southern. Kickoff set for 1 p.m. You can find that on ESPN+. Razorbacks are coming off a 2-2 tie against second-ranked Notre Dame.
You watch any of that game, Tom?
Last Sunday, I did not.
I got to see some of that. Really exciting. They have a really good soccer team. If you're into soccer at all, if your kids play soccer, you want to learn more about the game, or you just want to watch a really good team, Razorback soccer is definitely one to invest in.
And 2026 top recruit for women's basketball, Kaya Prestridge, has committed to Arkansas, that according to Rivals.com. Also want to remind you, coming up tomorrow, Saturday, August 23rd, Northside High School in Fort Smith, Isaiah Joe's Shooters Shoot Camp, presented by ArcVest, is going to be there, hosted by Fort Kids Children's Museum, and the Isaiah Joe Family Foundation. Isaiah Joe will be leading 2 sold-out sessions for over 250 young athletes, including scholarship campers for the Boys and Girls Club and local schools. I saw Isaiah last week at the golf course, and it looks like he's having a great offseason. It's going to be a lot of fun having those kids over there tomorrow, and going to raise a lot of money for a couple good organizations as well. All right, that's your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call
8 Sparky.
One of the last weekends of the month, back to school, people are getting settled, kind of getting back into the routine, and that's exactly where we find Larry Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith and in Springdale. We're not at the end of the month, but we can feel it from here, can't we, Larry?
It might as well be, Tommy. I mean, we're just pushing like crazy, and we've got that sales tax paid when you trade promo going on. It's our most popular promotion. We can't do it all the time, but we're doing it through the end of the month, probably through the Labor Day weekend. Be a great time to come in, get that better car you've been looking for. Let us save you some money with a road-ready certified vehicle. You can't buy a better used car, voted best used car in Fort Smith a couple of years in a row. We're real proud of that. We've got a big selection. We're working hard to keep the right cars in here. We've got the one you're looking for at a great price with sales tax paid when you trade right now. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. We're even doing this on the new Mitsubishis, and we've got a good selection. 25 Outlanders. If you haven't seen that car, come in for a free test drive. You're going to love it. We've got some great incentives there, some good interest rates, and some big rebates. It's a great time to save on those and get your sales tax paid when you trade as well. So treat it like the last weekend of the month, Tom. And this is going to be a great time to come in and save at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
Here's the deal. It is the last weekend of the month because next weekend we're going to be busy with the Arkansas game, so you got to get it done this Saturday because next Saturday we got plans next Saturday, so we got to get it done
always
today.
the case. Yeah,
so
absolutely. Right now.
Yeah.
This is the time. I'm going to lead you to call my sales crew and talk to them, okay?
Just, I'll be available. You got my number. You got my number.
That sounds good.
All right, Larry, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Folks, come and see us.
All right, Larry Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Clay Henry's going to jump back into the conversation. If you're just getting in with us this morning, 9 SEC games has been established as the new law of the land beginning in 2026. Mm-hmm. Presidents and chancellors voted that in yesterday afternoon. Greg Sankey in the Southeastern Conference announced it. We're going to go through some more of the details coming up, and maybe the teams, and I'm not sure exactly, Colton, how all of the scheduling formula is going to work other than you're going to flip-flop between 5 home games and 4 road games and 4 home games and 5 road games every other year. Other than the unbalanced nature of it, are the 3 permanent opponents you have now going to, or is that going to stick? Is that going to move forward? Is that number going to change? I know the formula is going to be set up to where you play SEC teams, everyone in the conference at least every 4 years, home and away, and everybody will be on your schedule at least in one game every 2 years. So I'm not exactly sure how the algorithm is going to work out, but you're going to see teams on a more frequent basis with this 9-game rotation.
That's right. You get to see Florida a little bit more come into your stadium. You get to come and rekindle that good, strong rivalry we have with Alabama. And everybody else, you get to see them and play them a little bit more. The thing for Arkansas now is, coming up immediately, they got to drop Tulsa, Memphis, or North Alabama next year off their schedule.
And we'll see how all of that plays out. All right, Clay will be back. We'll talk with him on the other side of the break. It's Football Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetics. If that nagging pain in your back, knee, shoulder, or hip is keeping you from the things you love, and you've been to the doctor and they've told you surgery, drugs, and downtime are the only way to get rid of the pain, there's a better way with QC Kinetics. I had shoulder pain a few years ago. They used my body's own healing powers to fix my shoulder, and I don't have the pain anymore. 479-999-1234 is their number. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics. The Morning Rush Daily Question, brought to you by Cart Pass Social, is next.
You're in the middle of Football Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother. They're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef, It's What's for Dinner, funded by beef farmers and ranchers, courtesy of beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, It's What's for Dinner.
Marital relations.
Turn his mic back off. This is the Morning Rush.
Hey everyone, David Rath here with Rath Auto Resources. Our state sales tax paid offer was a big hit. Frankly, we've been too busy selling cars to come up with an inspired replacement. So in my stereotypical artistic procrastination, I just gave up and decided to extend the sale through Labor Day. Just bring in your old ride and get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day weekend. Probably. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
If the 25th is the silver anniversary and the 50th is gold, what's the 75th? Well, that's the fresh beef, onions, pickles, lettuce, tomatoes, fries, and drink anniversary. Everybody knows that. Get the #1 water meal for $7.50 in honor of our 75th anniversary. A meal like that is the way you're supposed to celebrate a 75th. The Whataburger 75th Meal Deal. Whataburger, what a deal. For a limited time at participating locations.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at CartPathSocial.com.
I think we have lots of questions on the Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question about this new 9-game schedule. The Southeastern Conference will roll out next year. We bring Clay Henry back in on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, the Hall of Famer. We've been discussing this throughout the morning so far. Right now, the 8-game schedule, you have 3 permanent opponents that are on it. One of the things, Clay, that Greg Sankey talked about, they said they wanted to continue was all the traditions and all the rivalries, but it's also a chance to kind of relook at the 3 permanent opponents. Arkansas's got Texas, Ole Miss, Missouri now. Morning Rush Daily Question brought to you by Cart Pass Social. Clay, is it time to take another look at that? And if so, who would you change the 3 permanent opponents to beginning in 2026?
Yeah, this would be a loaded lineup, but the teams that Arkansas has somewhat of a tradition, and it isn't Missouri, and that needs to go away. And I'm not against playing Missouri, but it's not a rivalry, and the Battle Line rivalry is a bunch of bunk. It stinks. It doesn't make any sense. It was contrived. I think an insurance company in Columbia, Missouri, came up with it, and that's not a good reason to do it. But the teams that Arkansas has somewhat of a tradition in the fans of the state care to play would be Texas, LSU, and Ole Miss. And those are the farmers in East Arkansas have always wanted to play Ole Miss, and that gets their juices flowing, and to some degree Tennessee. And when Arkansas came into the league, it made all the sense in the world to have the every year opponent to be Tennessee. And I know it was South Carolina because that was just a natural that they both had open spots in their schedule. So it was Tennessee and South Carolina. Then that was dropped, but I think that Texas makes sense. But I get into this deep in my soul. I feel like that there are people in Bristol, Connecticut that decide what the rivalries are.
Oh, I agree as well. I mean, Alabama and LSU wasn't a rivalry till 10 or 12 years ago, right?
They didn't play.
And then they started playing games that determined not only the Western Division of the Southeastern Conference when we had divisions, but in large part determined who was going to win the SEC that year. Then they went on to play each other in a national championship game. But that was a rivalry born out of games of consequence. I would like to see Texas, no problem with. I could take LSU or Ole Miss. LSU would be the tougher of those 2 opponents traditionally. But I think it's high time we get Oklahoma.
Yes.
And I know we haven't played them yet since they joined this league. And maybe it's because of where I've called home my entire life in Western Arkansas.
Yeah, and I get it. Yeah.
And it's the closest SEC institution to Fayetteville, and it makes sense to me that if you got 2 schools that close to each other, they should be playing, particularly when it's part of your westernmost outpost. So I think Arkansas should have Oklahoma as one of their opponents if we're going to shuffle that deck, and it appears there will be some shuffling moving forward with this 9-game schedule.
I'd be for that. I mean, it's what is it for you, Tommy? About 2.5 hours?
Yeah, yeah. And it's less than right at 3 from Fayetteville.
So it's
a very drivable game.
Yeah. It's the same reasoning for. I mean, we've all got friends in Oklahoma. I don't have any friends in Missouri. I mean, I just don't. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just don't. I don't know anybody up there.
Well, they're not part of the South.
I don't hate anybody up there. But it was that was done to placate the people in Missouri, and they thought, well, we're going to replace Kansas with another neighbor. But it didn't make any sense to the other neighbor. It's like you need 2 to tango. Mm-hmm. And it was, it is interesting for Arkansas because the only natural rival they have had, or we have had, is Texas. And that needs to be a permanent game. And I know Texas is in a situation where they have lots of rivals. Mm-hmm. Everybody hates Texas. It's easy to hate them because they're they're Satan. I mean, they just are. They're the devil.
And no offense to Satan. No offense to Satan, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Satan doesn't want to walk down the road with, that's like, although Satan might like to walk down the road because everybody be shooting at Texas and not Satan. And you think I'm kidding?
If Al-Qaeda played Texas, who you taking?
I mean, I would send guns to Al-Qaeda.
The thing is that the league is never going to get you away from Missouri. They're infatuated with that rivalry the same way that they're not probably going to let you. They may not let you keep the Texas one either because the league is also infatuated with Texas and LSU or LSU and Texas A&M. They love that dynamic as well.
It's because they don't fit with it. It's because they don't fit with anyone else.
You're exactly right. Missouri fits with nobody else.
No, but so we get left. It's kind of being the last kid picked at dodgeball.
Redheaded stepchild.
That's kind of where it's at. All right, that's the Morning Rush Daily Questions brought to you by Cart Pass Social, Northwest Arkansas's #1 destination for indoor golf. Clay's going to be playing some outdoor golf in the heat today at Cart Pass Social. You never have to worry about the temperature. It's always going to be temperate. It's always going to be perfect for corporate and business events. So many businesses in Northwest Arkansas have already taken up this team-building exercise at Cart Pass Social. They got different packages for different times of the day, different days of the week, and they can make a great time for your corporate getaway as well. And it's even perfect for people that don't play golf, don't understand golf. You can bring your own food and drink in.
Night golf.
You can play at night. You can play during the day. I mean, it's so flexible, and no golf attire required, so you don't have to have any ugly plaid shorts like Clay's going to have on today. And it's always, as we said, BYOB. All right, Cart Pass Social, 122 Grant Place in Lowell, 479-487-3622. You can give them a call or book online at cartpathsocial.com and secure your bay. Do you think they'll go as far as – do you think the 3 permanent opponents will change during this process? I heard Greg Sankey saying yesterday Mark Womack and the team had already begun working on scheduling models and algorithms.
Algorithms. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, regardless, there's a lot more flexibility with 9, and that's the good news. And that's part of the lure to go to 9 is that you're not going to wait 20 years to play somebody or to have them come to your house.
You'll have them in your place every 4 years. Mm-hmm. Everyone in Georgia will be in our stadium by 2030. Florida will be in your stadium by 2030. Vanderbilt will be in your stadium by 2030. I mean, that is the other thing of this. Some of the schools you'd like to play more frequently, you will get to.
Yeah, can I choose my 3 as Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky? Is that all right?
Ty's already got that.
Oh,
yeah. Dang. I mean, Clay, I'm excited about the idea of seeing teams in Razorback Stadium we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, well, let me just put it this way. I don't run from anybody, and I do. You do want to have some balance in the schedule and play some of those the not so powerful SEC teams now and then. But hey, you wish for something, and then Vanderbilt comes to town with Jay Cutler or
remember
this current quarterback. That's your bad luck, and that happened to Arkansas. Jay Cutler came in here and
05, wasn't it?
Tore him up. Yeah, and I think it was probably McFadden and Felix's freshman year.
It was. I think that's the game DMAC kind of broke out a little bit. So towards the end of the game,
it was also
I remember, right?
They had a 4th and 1 play with him on the sideline or something like that. I don't know. That did not sit favorably by the nut haters, or it added to the nut haters. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I like it's you can we talked about the 9-game schedule for the last 3 or 4 years. It's like we don't want it, we want it. We don't want it. We don't want it. I've been ready to embrace it, and I since yesterday afternoon. It's here. I always look at opportunity, and like today when I have one of those 190-yard shots over water that you can lay up or you can go for it. I look at the opportunity. I'm going for it, Tommy. Let's bring on the 9-game schedule.
Yeah, that'd be a good 6-iron for you. So. But
that's all I got, man.
That's all you got. But I think
I'm like Rory. I'm going for the grandstand.
Yeah. Here's where I'm at. I have given up on the idea that Arkansas is going to be some 10 or 11 or 12 game winner on a regular basis. Maybe there's a year, once a generation, it happens. So if 6, 7, 8 wins is more likely in my future, entertain me. And if I get to see some of the best teams in college football and my team comes up short, I've been entertained at least with good college football in front of me. So I am more excited about having Georgia and Tennessee and LSU and Alabama and Auburn and Texas A&M every year. That caliber of team on my home schedule, because I'm paying a lot for tickets. And I'm giving the university a lot of money to have access to those tickets. Entertain me.
Well,
and this makes it easier to entertain me.
Yeah, I think there's value in these games, and that's the whole reason to do it. And I think Sankey's he's saying the right things, that the strength of schedule, the value of the schedule, all that. Yeah, that's important. But let's don't ignore what's drove this. It's ESPN, it's Bristol, it's the money, it's the revenue share. It's trying to find another $1 million or $2 million, and you're whacking off some expenses, because this ninth SEC game doesn't cost schools any money. They don't have to pay a guarantee to bring in Louisiana Monroe, and those are the teams. And the sad part is that's going to cost the Sun Belt $9 million.
Yeah, no, that's right. Hey, we need to talk about next Saturday and this year's team. You got time to hang around top of the hour? Let's talk about what's going to happen a week from tomorrow.
I'm yours, Tommy.
All right, Clay Henry, the Hall of Famer, Whole Hog Sports. He'll be back with us here on the other side of the break, and we'll talk about a week from tomorrow, Arkansas's opening game, Arkansas and Alabama A&M. And your thoughts on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline are welcome, 877-377-6963. APAC and Standard Materials Group, your number one source for top-quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete, whether it's a residential job or a large-scale commercial job. APAC and Standard Materials Group have you covered. No job's too big or too small. 479-587-3300 for all your rock, asphalt, and ready-mix needs. It's APAC and Standard Materials Group.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fifth Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, or online at harryrobinson.com.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is The Morning Rush.
Hey everyone, David Rath here with Rath Auto Resources. Our state sales tax paid offer was a big hit. Frankly, we've been too busy selling cars to come up with an inspired replacement. So in my stereotypical artistic procrastination, I just gave up and decided to extend the sale through Labor Day. Just bring in your old ride and get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day weekend. Probably. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Get state sales tax paid when you trade, now through Labor Day at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has raked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Avoid the door knockers and storm chasers. We are local and we will be here long after the storm chasers are gone.
Check out PatriotBrothersRoofing.com or call 479-652-9479.
Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. How about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Price apps and taps are back at Joe's Grill and Cantina every Arkansas game day. Wear your hog gear and get half price apps and taps at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Enjoy 10 layer dip, chimney paquitos, the ultimate sampler, and Mexican pizza, all half price during Arkansas games. And all your favorite beers on tap are half price. Half price apps and taps during every Arkansas game. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job. Software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. JamMart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero JamMart locations. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Fill her up, please.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures today in the upper 80s to low 90s, mainly clear skies at mid to upper 60s overnight. Friday, blue sky, lots of sunshine. A high will be in the low 90s and hanging on to the mid 90s on Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 8 days.
Ball's back in town. The grass is freshly cut. Fans are filling up the stands. The excitement may erupt. Hear the marching band and anthem ring. The boys sure came to play. Yeah, there's nothing like an Ozark night when the Hawks run through that air. One more day till the weekend's here. Just me and my TV. How the hell can you call that? Guess they just let anybody referee. Dogs on the grill, and there's no better thrill than a cold one in my hand. Now it's time to play past the talking stage. Oh, there's nothing like football Friday.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Ty's out today. He'll be back on Monday. It is Football Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Pain-free, back to the things you love. If that's what you want, QC Kinetics can help get you there. We'll tell you more about QC Kinetics coming up. They're right here in Northwest Arkansas. 479-999-1234 is their number. We've been talking throughout the morning about the 9-game schedule that the SEC will start in 2026. It's a shift in this league that pairs well with the revenue sharing and the schools trying to bridge that revenue gap. The 2025 season gets underway a week from tomorrow. Clay Henry, the Hall of Famer with Whole Hog Sports, is still with us for a few more minutes. Clay, let's get into next Saturday. Arkansas opens the season with the Alabama A&M. This is a game I think most people expect to win by a wide margin. My question is, and I think Arkansas will win comfortably, how will they look in going about it? Because I think that's more important. Will they look dominant at the lines of scrimmage? Will they give up the run in the middle? What are your expectations for next Saturday in Game 1 of the 25 campaign?
We know so little, and so much is expected, and that's a recipe for disappointment. When I say that is that we haven't seen them. We don't know anything about Alabama A&M. We expect that this is going to be a more polished team because of a second year in the scheme with Bobby Petrino, second year with Taylor Green. We think that the offensive line is instead of being a weakness, might actually be a strength. That would be a major breakthrough, I would say. The last 2 years, the offensive line has held them back in a major way, and if it could become a strength, and Sam Pittman's been clear. I know he spoke at the Hogs Illustrated sports banquet Wednesday, or maybe it was yesterday.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, and he talked about, didn't give any specifics, but he said they spent a lot of money on the offensive line, which that's what I would have done. And I think a lot of people, spend their money in different places, but that's where I would always spend it first. Yeah. Second, quarterback, because if you have quarterback and you don't have offensive line, we've seen what happens the last 2 years, really going all the way back. If you want to say why the Chad Morris experiment failed, it was because they had no offensive linemen. I mean, they basically were.
They tried to slim down the ones they had.
Well,
which made no sense.
They were, some of them were young and slim anyway. But it was a failed experiment, and I think the last year of the Bielema era, they didn't recruit offensive linemen, and then Chad Morris tried to, and they played 5 or 6. I mean, I think there was a time when they only had 8 out there at practice. Well, you can't practice with 8 offensive linemen. You can't have 2 units. But anyway, I think that what we should be watching for on next Saturday is how well do these tackles hold up, and they're probably going to see a little bit of speed. Can they give time where there is a pocket for Taylor Green? And then the next aspect is just how clean they are in all the aspects. Kicking game, how polished are they? Are they? Mm-hmm. Are they still deficient in talent? And I think they have really good linebackers. There's been a lot of talk about the cornerbacks being bigger. Can they run and cover? And we've seen the numbers from the scrimmage, a lot of big plays. Well, if you're getting big plays against your defense, that means your secondary is not holding up. So that's the second area that I want to see. And I doubt they kick a lot of field goals, but this freshman Starzik kicker is, what's he like, and how does he perform in front of people? Because kicking in practice and kicking in a stadium are two different things, Tommy. It's kind of like, a Broadway play. You can go out there for rehearsal and it's wonderful, but when the lead singer steps out there and has to do it, does he or she hit all the notes right? And this is the big stage for a high school kicker. Can he convert? And we've heard whispers that he's got the leg of Cam Little. I want him to have the accuracy of Cam Little. So we're gonna get to see some of that. And there'll be 2 or 3 games this year, I hope, where he's the difference. And is he the difference in a positive way, or is he a difference in the not so good way?
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I'll be looking for as we wind down. And I got to be honest. All the way across the offensive line, the tackles, the guards. What's Kobe Branham like? Kittler, the center, or his snaps pure?
Yep.
I mean, because last year they suffered with snaps.
Yep. Yeah, you got to have a consistent snap where the quarterback's eyes don't have to move to find the snap, or it throws the timing. It throws the timing of everything off. If he's having to reach down, bend down, then you can't find your first read, your first progress. Everything, you'll never get to your second or third progression in your passing because you've wasted that. I know it's only half a second, but that's huge when you're thinking about you got 3 seconds to get rid of the ball, and that
right.
It has to start with a snap and it being right on point, at his hands every time. Let's hear from Bobby Petrino. He talked about the game plan for Game 1. Here's what BP said.
The way I've always looked at these games is that we have to be mature enough to understand that we need to go out and execute and score points and work to score every single time we have the ball and allow our depth to get into the game. And that's how you develop. That's up to our players to be mature enough and prepare themselves well enough and really approach the game like it doesn't matter who we're playing, and it matters how we play, and we have to take care of ourselves.
That, last year against UAPB, Arkansas scored on 10 possessions. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a reasonable expectation against Alabama A&M or really any team of that matter. But the reality is you want to go out there and, as you were talking about, Clay, execute, not have pre-snap penalties because you're lined up wrong or a false start because you don't get the count right. Go out there and execute on getting first downs that lead to touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And the question there for Petrino is really about how do you work in depth? How do you work in a second or third quarterback and get KJ Jackson in there? And he's talking about the way we do that is exactly what you were saying a minute ago. You go out there and you execute drive after drive after drive till you got a comfort zone that you can work and build depth in a game like this.
Missed assignments, that's there'll be some, and that's inevitable. It's part of the game. But you have to really be sharp. That means you've got one more week of practice to get all this down. They're having a dress rehearsal tonight, but all it is which gate do we run out of?
Mm-hmm.
Do we take a left? Do we take a left after we run through the hay, or we take a right? I hope they all take a right. Yeah. But they got about 60, 70 players that haven't run through the hay before. That sounds pretty simple, but it's you're watching for that. I want to see who's at right tackle. I assume it's going to be Marion Harris. How does he play? He's supposed to be bigger and stronger. Can they get a push on that right side with either Harris, Shaq McRoy, or even Kobe Branham? And I assume that Keyshawn Blackstock will get in the game some. Mm-hmm. What does he look like playing defensive tackle? So those are things to kind of keep an eye on. And I know everybody wants to. The thing they'll be talking about Sunday and Monday and Tuesday of the following week is what was the passing game look like? Yeah. Because that's just the nature of fans. But I think how that right side of the offensive line fares is going to be a big key for this season.
Well, to me, if you can establish the run and you talk about forming the pocket for the pass game. I agree with that, but controlling the line of scrimmage, either controlling the pocket or establishing the run, however you want to say it, that means control at the line of scrimmage, and stopping the run are the two big things for me. Because if you can't stop the run against Alabama A&M, that it's reasonable to have bigger concerns about what's coming up with even Memphis and Ole Miss and Notre Dame and even Arkansas State. Because what you're going to put on tape is going to lead other teams to prepare the game plan for you, and you've got to be able to show that we're not going to allow what would be a bad number, 4 or 5 yards average. You can't have that happen. You've got to be able to stop. The run.
It ought to be 1 or 2.
Right. I mean, 4 or 5 would not be a very complimentary number. That's what I'm saying. It ought to be 1 point something, 2.5. But it can't be really north of 3.
I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and those are the things.
Your math matches my math.
Okay.
These games against cupcake teams, you really just have to make sure that you're establishing the most fundamental aspects of football. You guys already mentioned it. No illegal procedures, getting guys lined up in the right position, making sure that you have enough guys on kickoff and punt return and kickoff team. You're not wasting timeouts or using them in the wrong situation. You shouldn't have to. But it's about establishing football as the most basic thing that you do, making sure that you can run, tackle, catch, and do all those things.
Clay, I know
I'm going to give you a little cheat sheet. It's kind of like yesterday when we were talking about how many times we're going to mention it's so great not to hear Tide today. Did we get to double digits yesterday?
I think 12. Yeah, we went back. We had the auditors come in, and I think it was 12. So
just keep your cheat sheet for next Saturday, and every time they go tight on Bobby Petrino, and he says, "You got to be kidding me." If there's more than 6 of those, then it's not a good day.
I would say more than about 3 or 4 might lead to a bad day. Hey, I know you got to run here in a minute, but I was reading one of your last columns about James McCann, and I guess Candy Shannon went to one of his games. That seemed like a really neat moment. The photo you sent me was pretty precious.
Yeah, I mean, I got a message from Dudley Dawson. It was actually during the Phil Elson show 2 days ago, and he said, "Can you get a message to James McCann?" So I gave Dudley James's number, and I texted, and the Sandys just wanted to meet him after the game, like out in the parking lot. And James texted back and said, "Please tell them to come to the field, to the dugout, as soon as the game's over." And he had them out on the field, and he had his twins with them too, and they called the Hogs together, Cannon, and he's our super fan from Cave City, Batesville. I think he's a fixture in both of those communities, and it was just a precious photo op, and James was tickled. So I wrote a column, and that's at Whole Hog Sports. You can go down and click on the banner that's got all my stories, but James is one of my heroes, and I'm sure he is for a lot of other Razorbacks for just many, many reasons. I mean, he's a good player, but he's a better person. But they just basically showed up, and within minutes, James was in warm-ups and saw his phone, and it's like, just make sure they come to the field afterwards. And he took care of them, and great photo op, and I think the Sandys were tickled to death.
That's awesome. So. Well, hit them straight today.
Okay.
I know you're playing in a golf tournament at Lost Springs, and appreciate you taking some time this morning.
Rogers Education Foundation fundraiser with my daughter, Sarah.
You the A player today?
I'm afraid so.
I'm afraid for your teammates then. So.
I'm a B player trying to play as the A, I think.
But utilize those senior tees.
I am.
And don't leave any mulligans out there either.
Okay. All right, Tommy. Thanks for having me today.
Clay
Sorry
Henry.
I have to run.
No problem. Clay Henry, Whole Hog Sports. Glad to have him this morning. Good breakdown on the 9-game schedule. We're going to get more into that. We haven't taken a lot of your calls and read a lot of your texts, but we're going to get to that. I wanted to hear what Clay had to say on that because, it's going to be a dramatic shift. And I think for teams like Arkansas, I have more worry and anxiety about 9 games than I do excitement. I'm excited because it's 5 home games in SEC play. You're going to have, some years, let's see, you'd have the 5 SEC games, maybe your Power 5 or a Power 4 opponent would make 6, then 7. You could have as many as 8 home games in some years. That excites me. So it's good for the fans. It's good for the university financially in this. I don't say uncertain time, but this time where they're trying to figure out what they're doing from a revenue standpoint, Colton.
But what doesn't excite you is that now there's more SEC teams coming in that you have a losing record against in the conference, and that likely just means it makes it more difficult for you to get back to what the expectation for this football program is. People are tired of 6-6, unfortunately, and people are tired of anything less than that, obviously. Yeah. So if you got more teams coming in, stats would say that you're probably not going to win those games. But like you, Tommy, obviously I don't want it to be Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. I want some tradition and some rivalries to stay intact. But at the same time, it seems like the rich got a lot richer with this, and the rest of us just get the scraps.
Well, they're going to have fewer problems overcoming this at some places. But hey, Texas is going to have to play 5 road games.
That's right.
Alabama's going to have to play 5 road games. Well, maybe not Alabama. They may not schedule them that. Every school in this league every other year is going to have to play 5 games on the road. I think for where Arkansas is at, we're going to, whether we like it or not, until you find the fairy dust to sprinkle in this program, kind of like you've done with basketball, you're going to have to understand that 8 wins is going to be a pretty big deal at a place like Arkansas, at a place like Mississippi State. Even a place like Ole Miss, who's won 10, it's going to get harder to win 10.
Yeah.
8 and 9 is going to get you in the playoff mix. 8 wins moving forward, assuming they're against some of the right schools, is at least going to get you in the conversation as you expand, particularly out to 16 teams, which is something Greg Sankey talked about yesterday. It's Football Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetics. Their regenerative treatments worked on my body. I had a problem with my shoulder. They helped me restore and repair the damaged tissue I had deep inside that joint. I had no surgery, no pills. I had no downtime. And now I play golf, and, I got problems there, but it didn't have anything to do with my shoulder. It's got everything to do with my swing. And, I do all the things I love to do. Next week, I'm not worried about going to the game and how I'm going to feel. And if that's how you're at, that's the point of life you're at right now with your hip or your knee or your back, that you avoid the things you love, do them now pain-free and get back to playing golf, going to games, hiking, whatever it is you love with QC Kinetics. 479-999-1234. They'll use your body's own healing powers to heal your body. 479-999-1234 for QC Kinetics. During the last break, we opened up a package of beef jerky from Clampett's Country Kitchen. I'm going to tell you, it hit the spot. I had the apple habanero. Yeah, I gave you a package of the original over there?
Which you can't beat.
And I don't know how you're resisting that. You got that sitting over there.
Well, it's hard because, first of all, you opened that package in another room, like 35 feet away, and somehow it got wafted over here, and it smells just absolutely enticing, and I can't wait to dig in.
You know how you walk into a leather store and it just has that certain aroma?
Yeah.
You walk into a place like Clampett's and it just has that smoked meat. That you wish you could bottle that up and make a cologne out of it or something. It is, it's awesome. Clampett's Country Kitchen. He sends me a little love package every month of beef jerky, and I can't wait to get the next load. That apple habanero and the sweet chili, amazing. But you'll like that original. I just laid on you over there. Clampett's Country Kitchen, Highway 7, just north of Hot Springs Village on Highway 7. All right, football coming up this weekend. Kansas State, Iowa State's the big game. Big weekend for the state of Kansas. You got Kansas also playing this weekend. But so they kind of get a head start in the whole state on college football this weekend.
I saw that in Ireland they had a bunch of flags.
They're playing Fresno State. Yeah. I should have mentioned that.
I saw that Ireland, and over there where they're playing the Farmageddon game, they had a bunch of Iowa State flags up with the Iowa State logo, and then some Kansas State flags as well, but not Kansas State like the Kansas State Wildcat, but the state flag of Kansas, which means that the Irish were so confused that they Googled Kansas State flag and bought the first one they saw. I think that's pretty humorous. But do you like playing these games across the sea? I think it'd be cool to watch a game in Ireland, but it's kind of what's the purpose?
What's
Why
the
is
upside?
it necessary?
Yeah, what is the upside for Kansas State or Iowa State? Particularly when you're telling me, hey, we got a $20 million shortfall. We got to figure it out. Hey, let's play a game in Ireland.
Yeah.
that's the disconnect with me is where's the upside for Iowa State or Kansas State? I mean, this isn't a place you're going to recruit. I mean, help me understand. I can't imagine ESPN's paying you additional money to play in Ireland. Where is the upside on this? What am I missing? I don't understand. There has to be one. These are smart people. Why would you make the decision to play in Ireland? Is their appetite across the pond that great for American football?
Mm-hmm.
Are the ticket sales at a price that this makes sense? Help me understand, because I don't get it.
They played 109 years consecutively in a row, dating all the way back to 1917. And now in 2027, Kansas State and Iowa State, they're not on each other's schedule anymore because the Big 12 is so big and they have to rotate opponents. So one of your very last games in a 100-year rivalry where you played each other 109 years straight, one of the last games that you get to see, 99% of Kansas State and Iowa State fans don't get to go to that game because it's across the pond. It doesn't make any...
But that's what I'm saying. Help me make sense of why you would want to play this game. Financially, how does it make sense for either school? It doesn't make sense for their season ticket holders. And I look at, if Arkansas found themselves invited or in an opportunity to play, in England, in Ireland, in Scotland, somewhere over there, and they've had exhibition basketball games on tours, but that's a whole different deal. Mm-hmm. A regular season game against a real opponent, tell me how it makes sense.
It doesn't. I can't explain it.
I can't explain it either. Maybe someone can help us. Lewis Automotive Group hotline is open, 877-377-6963. Your thoughts on the 9-game schedule. Also, what do you expect next Saturday as Arkansas opens up the season against Alabama A&M? If you're doing some fishing this weekend, get to lurenet.com right now. You can load up a tackle box. Any order over $35 gets free shipping in the United States, and they got all your favorite brands like Yum, Rebel, Booyah, and more, all there. That's lurenet.com, and load up your tackle box for this weekend at lurenet.com. Arkansas owned, Arkansas made. That's lurenet.com.
You're in the middle of Football Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
That's kind of the problem up at LSU. They say that's the loudest place in the world. Well, they're loud because they start cooking about 8 o'clock there and they start drinking.
This is the Morning Rush.
Freshen up your golf game at the Golf Nut. We've got the latest apparel and head covers from Pins and Aces, plus new shirts and shorts from Red Vanley. Ghost golf bags are here in Sunday bag, carry, and card 14 styles. Zero torque putters are the hottest thing on the greens. Check out our models from TaylorMade, Lab Golf, and Odyssey. For precision on every shot, we've got rangefinders from Blue Tees and Bushnell. Visit the Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith. Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
Dozy Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends. It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Dozy Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
When electrical needs pop up, don't get left in the dark. Call the local team that's trusted on and off the field. Harrison Electric. That's who homeowners and local businesses choose. Harrison Electric. Honest, dependable, and they leave no mess behind. From quick fixes to major upgrades, Harrison Electric is your go-to for all your electrical projects. Don't sit on the sideline with electrical problems. Get back in the game with the pros you can count on. Harrison Electric. Honest, quick, trusted. 652-3077.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, your Xerox authorized dealer in the River Valley. Xerox is more than just a brand, it's your ultimate business partner. Whether you need high-speed printers, powerful copiers, or seamless cloud solutions, Xerox has the tools to keep your business running smoothly and efficiently. And right now, for a limited time, we're offering a free Xerox color printer with the lease or purchase of many Xerox models. To learn more, call us at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, your partner in business success.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about the toughest there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally it's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
You'll recall in the division format at 14, it took 12 years to cycle through. In fact, we had schools in the 12-year cycle because we disrupted that before the 12 years were up that didn't make trips one place or another. Not everyone agrees. I'm certain that our coaches are concerned about the competitive aspect. We've got to continue to improve the selection process for the postseason. Yet when you factor that in along with our media relationship with ESPN, what we experienced from viewership last year, Paul, when you go back to the COVID year where we played conference-only games and had the highest viewership consumption on the SEC network because every one of those games were great games. A lot of lessons that also set us up for future decision-making and future opportunities. Those are but some of the factors that brought us to this conclusion.
That's Greg Sankey yesterday on the Paul Feinbaum show as we start our SEC update this morning. Commissioner Sankey laying out some of the points of why a 9-game schedule makes sense right now. I mean, what he's not saying, but what he's saying without saying it is it's all about trying to enhance that, what do you call it, media partnership with
media relation
with ESPN, because each school is facing approximately a $20 million gap that they're trying to fund in a variety of ways. increasing season ticket sales, cutting overhead by laying off some of their long-term employees. That's happened at Arkansas, and it's happened around the conference. You got to raise revenue and you got to cut expenses. You got to do both in order to make it work. In a 9-game schedule, it fits in right now, and they've pulled that ace from up their sleeve. And I don't know how many more aces college sports has right now to pull out of its sleeve when it comes to generating more revenue. Here are some of the things that will happen with this new 9-game conference schedule in 2026, some things that will and won't happen. No divisions. I know there's been some people speculate, well, maybe we'll go to 4 4-team divisions. Not going to happen. They'll continue with a single standings and non-divisional structure in the SEC. Each school will play 3 annual opponents, and that's going to be based on maintaining tradition and rivalries. Question is, will those change? Arkansas right now has Texas, it has Ole Miss, and it has Missouri as its 3 common opponent or 3 consistent opponents on its schedule. Will those permanent opponents change moving forward with this new model? I guess that's yet to be seen at this point. Each team's remaining 6 SEC games will rotate among the remaining conference schools. As Greg Sankey spoke there, you're going to see schools more frequently on a regular basis, and each team will face other SEC programs at least once every 2 years, and every opponent home and away in 4 years. On the surface, all that sounds great. If you're a school that's struggling to win 8 or 9 games a year, like Arkansas is, it's not so good news. But if you're a school that's looking to find your way, into growing the revenue, like Arkansas is, this is one thing that can help. For coaches like Sam Pittman, who's judged on wins and losses, Colton, it's probably going to be a little more of a challenge than what maybe Kirby Smart's going to face.
If you're a casual fan, you just want to watch football, you're not too invested in one of these teams, this is music to your ears. I mean, there's more conference games of one of the best conferences in college football, if not the best. So it is good for everybody that wants to just watch and just ingest college football. It's all good. And Ross Dellinger from Yahoo Sports, who broke a lot of this, says that money is at play. As previously reported, the schools are in line to receive additional revenue to play in the extra conference game, as much as $5 million annually. And you said it, Tommy, when they're faced with $20 million they have to pay off to these athletes, no one is going to turn their nose up at $5 million.
That bridges a lot of the gap. Arkansas's got games next year scheduled with Tulsa, Memphis, and North Alabama. They also have Utah. That game will stay because it fits the model where you're required to play an ACC, Big 10, or Big 12 school or Notre Dame. So Utah's staying on the schedule. Question is, will Tulsa, Memphis, or North Alabama, which one of those will be dropped from Arkansas's schedule? Looking at some of the other schools, Alabama's schedule will have 11 Power 4 games every year through 2034 if they don't change something there. My guess is they will. Georgia is the only other SEC school that also is set to play 11 or more Power 4 games through 2034. South Carolina will do so through 2030. And also worth noting is the annual rivalry games that Power 4 opponents also have, as does Florida and Kentucky. So you think about the Kentucky-Louisville game. Florida plays Florida State and Miami. South Carolina plays Clemson. So as you look through the tradition and the rivalries that you're trying to maintain as well, Georgia plays Georgia Tech. Who am I missing anything else?
Those are the 4.
Those, Texas A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, all those traditional rivalries are within the conference and will probably be part of the 3-game permanent opponent schedule. So it will be interesting. I think we're going to get more of a scheduling update and maybe the full schedule without dates necessarily sometime in December, it sounds like.
And it'll be interesting just to see how many teams that you haven't seen come into your stadium or how many teams that you haven't had to go on the road and face in several years because, as Sankey mentioned, they redid some of this several years ago before they added Texas and Oklahoma. So there were some games that got left out that Arkansas didn't get a chance to travel to this place or that place. So this is good overall. You get to see more of the SEC and, the great tradition and all the awesome pageantry that is within all of these awesome SEC venues in those towns. But at the same time, Tommy, you mentioned it, the lower tier of the SEC, the Kentuckys, the Mississippi States, the Arkansas, the Vanderbilts of the world, and I'm sure there's a few more you could lump in there. This is a tough pill to swallow because, yes, you're getting extra revenue from having extra games on campus. But at the end of the day, you have a losing record against the majority of teams in this conference in which you belong to. So this expectation that this fan base has of, look, we need to get back to the Petrino years where we're reeling off 10, 11 wins, this is a huge roadblock in the way of that.
If you're a fan like me that would like to visit every SEC venue,
this is awesome. This is great.
This is great news because you're going to have, in theory, you could do it all in 4 years, right? In theory. So over a 12-year period, it becomes a realistic goal to set. I'm kind of one of those guys. I'd like to go to every SEC venue at some point. This is going to make that a little more doable from a scheduling standpoint. All right, let's look at some of the texts coming on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We'll do that in a minute. Colton, if you want to cue some of those up, you can read through a few. The SEC update brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions. They've opened a second location. They're in Salisal. Home base is in Fort Smith. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. And Jackie Mock's there to take care of any need you have. If you're in Sequoyah County, they're right across from the courthouse. But if you're in LaFleur County, Adair counties, anywhere nearby, she can help get you through the legal challenge that faces you. Not only do they handle all family law matters, but Jackie has 13 years in car wrecks, slip and falls, dog bite cases, and also can help you get that insurance check if you've been in a wreck as well. They also understand that times are hard. Most of us working class folks can't afford to pony up a $5,000 retainer and then get asked for more money down the road. That's why they offer flat fees, low down payments, and payment plans that work for you. By the way, the laws have also changed. When it comes to joint custody, the default is now joint custody. So if you're afraid of going to court, talk to Jackie. She can talk about successful trial and other plans they can put in place for you. Go to mocklegalsolutions.com. That's mocklegalsolutions.com or call 769-1505. What are the people saying out there on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline?
They are saying most of the discourse this morning, Tommy, has been about the permanent opponents. You brought up a great point early on in our first hour about how, hey, it makes sense now for Arkansas and Oklahoma to start playing a little bit more frequently and to possibly be made a permanent opponent. I am just like you. We grew up here on this western wall of the state of Arkansas, and so for every kid that I went to school with that wore a Razorback shirt, there was another toothless kid that smelled bad wearing an OU shirt. And so I would love to get some comeuppance from them because we had arguments for years, all through growing up. Well, Oklahoma's better. They won national championship. I don't care. I like to prove that Oklahoma is a garbage state with a garbage football program. That's just my opinion. Now, they're obviously in a better place than Arkansas, but you want that opportunity. You want things to change. Clay is right. This manufactured thing of the battle line rivalry or whatever it is, it's so Missouri doesn't feel left out. Things want to change. We've got text in on the Lewis Automotive hotline here from a texter out of the 479 saying yes, Oklahoma. Ryan in Prairie Grove saying add OU as well. So a lot of the discourse this morning has been about swapping out some of those permanent opponents. I don't know if people were just tired of playing Missouri because they whip our ass all the time or because it just seems so forced and awkward.
What if I told you it's going to be OU, LSU, and Ole Miss?
I think that for me, I would be okay with that.
I think a lot of
people
people
would be okay with that.
I think a lot of people younger than 45 would, but there's some that think, by God, we're going to play Texas. We got to play Texas every year. Well, do we? Now I know Clay. If Clay was still here with us, Clay would say, "Hell yes, we got to play Texas every year." And I get it. If you're of a certain age, that's the answer. But you talk about it's where you live. We want to play Oklahoma because of where we grew up on the Western Wall. Someone that grew up in, Forest City or West Helena, Pine Bluff, that direction, parts of the state you only drive through when you go to the beach. I get it. You want to play Ole Miss because they're nearby. People from southern Arkansas feel the same way about LSU. If you're in Hope, if you're down in El Dorado listening this morning, I understand how you feel. A lot of people that moved into Arkansas from Louisiana after Katrina 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. I get why you feel that way. LSU, there's a great tradition between Arkansas and LSU, obviously with Ole Miss, and I think one could be made with OU. You've played in some big games, but you haven't played a lot of football games against OU. A couple of Orange Bowls, a Cotton Bowl. You hadn't played a lot against these guys. Do you have to play Texas every year? Is Texas a requirement since they're in the SEC?
It's just, I obviously, like you said, if you're a certain age, if you're my age, Tommy, I'm not even 30 years old. I'm 26. So playing Texas is just a fun thing we've gotten to do that I know that we used to do. And obviously, I understand the history of the rivalry, how important it was that Arkansas could finally, whip up on Texas occasionally back in the SWC. I understand all of that. But for me, you mentioned it. It's LSU. That rivalry is what I started with Arkansas football on. So people that are my age, they definitely want that. And then if you go even back in that older time, in that older generation, like you said, Ole Miss is a very important rivalry. I mean, the Powder River Pass, things like that. People still remember those games, and it's also, there have been some good barn burners between Ole Miss and Arkansas that people would like to protect. I've seen some mentions for the A&M game as well, because you do have a winning record against them in terms of that rivalry, but people really want to keep LSU, and they really, really want Oklahoma on the schedule.
All right, let's go to the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, find out what we should be thinking. Yeah, Brian is in Ozark. He'll tell us why we're wrong. Brian, go ahead.
Hey, Tommy, I was just wondering, listening to you, you would think that Arkansas would want to play Missouri as a common denominator, common team every year instead of Texas. They'd have a better shot at beating Missouri every year than they would Texas.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Missouri may be a better football program than Texas right now.
I'm sorry, Eli is not a better coach than Sarkisian.
Well, they're 0-0 this year.
And the way that Sarkisian is recruiting, I mean, he's already got top talent for 27, 28 starting to visit.
Right on time, like they should be. Good for him.
Sarkisian's going to be there until he retires, and Texas is only
or get fired.
Better.
Yeah, because Texas has never fired. Yeah, Texas has never fired coaches. So, yeah.
Well, they did fire Charlie Strong. He's still considered the worst hire ever in the history of Texas in 112 years. But and of course they fired Tom Herman. That was 27-16.
Texas should want to play Arkansas, right?
You're right, Brian.
Listening to you, Texas should want to play Arkansas.
You're right. Texas will beat Arkansas 9 out of 10 times in a decade.
But who do you want? But if you could choose the three opponents for Texas, who would it be? It'd have to be OU. It'd have to be A&M, and who would be your third?
I don't really know. I mean, I guess Arkansas.
Exactly.
I don't care who Texas plays.
It fits. Well, you do because you want to play the A&M. Thanks for the call, Brian. But I mean, that's going to be the challenge. Is the same challenge you had when you put this original format together that we're under now with 8 games. It's who are the right 3 opponents.
And it's different for us. And think about teams that have potentially more rivals. I think about Tennessee. So they think of Georgia as a rival, Alabama, Florida, and Kentucky, as well as Vanderbilt. They consider all 5 of those schools big rivals with them. So you got to cut out which of those 3 are more important, which one you think is not important. They're not going to want to play Vanderbilt. They think it's beneath them, but who else do you stick Vanderbilt with? What about Mississippi State? They have one natural rival in Ole Miss, and nobody else gives a crap about playing Mississippi State. So there is going to have to be some problem solving, and someone's got a great big puzzle they have to finish.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I understand the desire from the league that we have this wonderful rotation and you see everybody every 4 years.
Which should work.
But there's part of my heart that really wouldn't mind it all going back to divisions.
That would make sense.
And if you want to create rivalries, you create consistency in the schedule. I've been a proponent all along of just move Alabama and Auburn to the east, Missouri over here with us, with Oklahoma and Texas, and you've got 2 really strong, well-balanced divisions. I understand divisions are a thing of the past now in college sports because you want to have the ability to get multiple teams in the playoffs, and I just wonder even about the future of championship games.
That's exactly right.
I even wonder about the future of the SEC championship in Atlanta. Is this a game that if you look at it from a competitive balance standpoint and you look at it from trying to get more teams in the playoffs, our conference is going to be maybe a little more reserved about where they want to go with championship games. Teams grow to play as many as perhaps 17 games now.
Mm-hmm.
There's other discussions to have out of this nature and the level in which potentially a couple of teams playing 17 games could be at. All right, quick word for Gaston's White River Resort, one of my favorite places to hang out. Hopefully it's one of yours, and if you've never been there, you've heard me talk about it for years, make this the year you pull the trigger and go. Because at Gaston's, I promise you're going to have a first-class time, every time. No, we'll get to that in a minute. But the reality is they have a great restaurant that overlooks the White River. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. They have 80 private cabins and lodges where you can choose the right one for you, whether it's 2 of you going or maybe as many as 20 of you going. They've got the right lodge, cabin, house for you. Many have fireplaces. Most have kitchens. All have a view of the White River that is outstanding. Property's got nature trails and places to take your walk. They've got a Bermuda grass airstrip so you can fly an airplane in there, or just as I love to do. I ain't got a plane, but I love sitting there watching the planes come and go. People fly in for the Sunday brunch every week. It is just an awesome place to hang out. 870-431-5202. Weather's getting ready to break. Why don't you make a break for it as well? Head to Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Gaston's. A first-class time every time.
You're in the middle of Football Friday on the Morning Rush, presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Protect what matters most with the Fence Man. From heavy-duty security fencing to powered automatic gates, the Fence Man's got Fort Smith covered. The Fence Man has served the Fort Smith area for over 40 years. Custom built and built to last. Free quotes, financing for 18 months. When it comes to security fencing, nobody builds it better than the Fence Man. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Morning Rush vibes that keep you on your toes. From 9 to 11, every day the magic flows.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Contractors, you've got jobs to win and customers to impress. That's why you choose Luxair HVAC systems, built for performance, efficiency, and reliability. And at J&B Supply, we've had your back since 1968. We're a local family-owned distributor that treats our customers like family too, with the products, expertise, and service you need to get the job done right. For over 50 years, HVAC and plumbing pros have trusted J&B Supply in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville. J&B Supply, where the professionals go.
Looking for the perfect gift that's personal and powerful? The Solid Rock has you covered. From custom laser-engraved cutting boards and coasters to travel mugs and keepsakes. Each piece is made with care and personalized just for your special occasion, whether it's a wedding, birthday, anniversary, or just because. They help you give gifts that inspire, engraved with names, scriptures, or messages that honor Christ. Shop The Solid Rock, located next to Sam's Club on South 74th in Fort Smith. The Solid Rock, serving the River Valley for over 49 years.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more.
Call Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747 or check them out online at pittmantrt.com. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Doe's Eat Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends. It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Doe's Eat Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
All right, winding it down here on a Football Friday, brought to you by QC Kinetics, taking calls and text. Lewis Automotive Group hotline open 877-377-6963. You can listen throughout the weekend. We'll have you covered with the Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell as well. Hey, if you haven't called QC Kinetics and you woke up in pain again this morning or discomfort, if you're just tired of your knee, your back, your hip, your shoulder hurting, they can help you out at QC Kinetics with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Did the same for me. 479-999-1234. My shoulder was my problem. But wherever you're hurting, QC Kinetics can give you relief. Your body can heal itself, and they'll take that regenerative nature of your body, regenerative properties, put it in the joints that hurt the most for you. 479-999-1234. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics. Last full weekend without, I know we have some football this weekend, but last weekend before the real storm hits, any plans for you to do, anything you want to get to this weekend with the newborn before football begins?
Oh, I got to do some maintenance on the house. Make sure that I get those lawns mowed and everything is in pristine condition before it gets too hot to do it again. And then,
man, when you mow the yard right now, you scalp that thing down.
That's right.
As dry as it is, scalp that thing. You want to mow it again for a month.
That's what I'm trying to do. Get it low and then just relaxing. Trying to catch up on some sleep. Need that.
Yeah, soak up some air conditioning this weekend. All right, hope you got big plans. I'm going to play a round of golf. Go to a concert with my family, so should be fun this weekend around the Craft House as well. Hope you have a good one. Halftime with Phil and Matt's coming up next. Thanks for listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN Arkansas and the Hit That Line Now app.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic World scratch-off games from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery.